What's going on, everybody? This is Roy Canada, and
I'm Ruthie.
And today I'm going to be hanging out, saying hi to everybody, and talking about a bunch of different alien factions for Last Light. The first thing I want to do is say thank you to everyone who has backed the Game Found campaign for Last Light. We have like 1 day left for this, and it has been amazing. I just want to switch over here. I was muted. Thank you, Chris. The sound went out when I switched cameras. Back to it. Well, I do want to say thank you to everyone who backed the campaign. It's been awesome to see the community come around this and like help out and be a part of it. Like we're at 440,000, which is ridiculous,
That's
and we
awesome.
might actually get to the 500,000 to unlock the extra ships at the end. Like that's like beyond what I thought we would do, which is kind of amazing. But I'm super stoked to see this game come to life. But like I said, there's a ton of awesome stuff that comes in the game, but I wanted to do an opportunity to talk about a bunch of the different aliens that actually come in the game, because there's a whole bunch of different factions, and we kept releasing some every single day. But I figured people would want to take a little bit of a look at what all of the different ones do.
All the abilities.
And Chris Yee is in the chat. Chris, what's up? But yeah, I just wanted to go to like the website here. I think, yeah, you can see us there. So we're just going to talk about the different aliens here. There is a lot that we have in the game. There's actually more than is actually on the website, but the website has all the little bios on them. And the cool thing is, like, each of these aliens, the back of them on the actual version, this is my prototype version, but the back of them is actually going to have like the bios and stuff on the back of it, so you can get
backstory.
that flavor and theme. But the first one we're going to look out here is the Shard.
Yeah.
So what do you think of these guys?
I love their color.
Yeah.
Like,
this is one of the first ones that we ever saw for the game. And when I first saw it, like, I feel like they've really grown on me more since. But it's like the Shard. And it tells you how to pronounce it. D-Shard. Are hulking species known for their militaristic culture. So their ability in the game is the fact that when they roll the burst symbol, which in the game, if you roll a burst or like basically like a hit and a reroll, when they roll that, you can pay a green to gain a light. Of course, light is the point of the game. If you get to 20, then you win. So the fact that these guys get light by getting into combat and rolling those bursts means that they're going to be like super strong in combat, as far as like they're gonna be able to have like combat ways to win the game. So they're probably gonna be more aggressive. So if they're like rotating into you as the game goes along, you probably want to watch out. You don't want them to build up a ton of ships. If
or
you're
collect a bunch of like green crystals.
Yeah. If you're playing the Shard, you definitely want to have a bunch of green. So when you get into the thing, also I think they're really good with like the big ships, because if you have the big ships, you get to roll 3 dice, and you're just gonna have more opportunities to roll those bursts on there. So yeah, the Shard are pretty cool.
And you don't exhaust, right?
You don't actually exhaust this ability. So if you had a ton of green crystals, you could get a ton of light, but you got to get into a bunch of combats to pull that off.
Right.
So if you're playing against them, don't let them actually have ships on the board, because that way they can't attack you. But yeah, so let's look at the next one here.
Oh, this name.
These guys. This is actually a fun fact. This was the very first art for the game, like maybe the first art in general period that Gray Fox showed me was these
Lunel?
It's I O'Neill is what it says here. I O'Neill.
Oh, I O'Neill.
These guys are all about technology. And it says like they're peaceful and like they basically hold technology in kind of like these mystic regards. But their cool thing is that they start the game with 2 techs.
Okay.
And when you're drawing a tech, you get to draw an extra tech card.
I should start playing with that.
Yeah, you have like a mixed past with like playing with technologies.
I don't usually play with technology.
Ruthie doesn't want to build up her ships or build up her tableau of technology. She just wants to like smash face the entire game. And it's...
I want to fight everybody.
I mean, you could do that, too. You could just not play the research card and just be like,
Yeah.
I move and I attack, and I refresh, and then I move and I attack again, and I take over these planets, and I move and I attack again. You're like the warmonger of the Last Light world. But yeah, so these guys are really good at getting those technologies, which can help you build up those combos and different things like that. The next one is...
The adorable one.
QB. These guys look cute. They're jerks.
Yeah.
The QB are small, mammalian humanoids standing about a meter high. So they're super short. They have pale gray skin that's covered in fur that ranges from white to orange to blue. But yeah, so these guys' special ability is the fact that whenever they play the command card, you can pay a green and take the command card back into your hand, and then you exhaust them. So once around, you could technically play your command twice.
That's pretty good.
That's just mean.
A lot of like people gravitate towards them because of how cute he is.
I think they look really cute, but they are really mean.
Yeah, they are.
Because like if you're like an aggressive player, like this is really good. Like Tom didn't play these characters, but when he was playing the game, he was basically doing this sort of thing by taking command back and attacking over and over again. I feel like this would be who Tom would be really into playing, like trying to jump on everybody. Let me see if we have any comments here as we're going along. Not anything too crazy. But yeah, these guys are really aggressive and jump all over people. The next one here, let's see if I can pull up the next guys here. These are I am Lene. Legally distinct Lene.
Right.
So these are cool tree people who have lost their homeworld and are nomadic community known simply as the Grove. You know, so there's cool little backstories for all of this stuff. But these guys' special ability is if they're in the very middle when the board rotates, they gain 1 extra light.
Oh, wow.
So if they have 1 ship there, they're going to gain 2. If they have 3 there, they're just going to gain 4 or whatever. So it's just 1 higher than the number of ships. So they're basically trying to get to the middle to gain the extra light.
That's pretty good.
So just more ways to gain light, which is always good. So of course these guys, everybody sees them and they're going to be like, don't let them get to the middle, you know, because they're going to rack up and have even more. Or maybe you can be, if you're playing them, maybe you can be a little bit sneaky and put 1 ship in there and people will be like, oh, it's just 1 ship.
And you start racking up.
You're going to gain 2 light off of 1 ship, you know, or you could have like 10 ships and then you gain 11 light, that sort of thing. But yeah, they're really cool because they're going to gain extra light if they get to the middle. This is another one that's one of your favorites.
Morlock is one of my favorites. Oh, that's not it.
Is it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you have to say about these folks?
This is the one where you have to
basically
when they on combat you have to re-roll.
Well, yeah, you can make your opponent re-roll.
Yeah, so whenever I play Morlock, I immediately like re-roll. If you're gonna hit me, re-roll. Like I love.
Even though they look super aggressive, they have mind control abilities, and they can basically force players to re-roll their attack dice, which is really good if somebody's trying to trigger like a special ability on a die. You can be like, no, get rid of that. Or if they're rolling with small ships and like only get like 1 hit, you can be like, get rid of that. The really important part it's important is because there's that burst where it hits and re-rolls. I've seen people mess up hits and re-rolls with Morlock a bunch of times, so that's been really cool. So
he's one of my favorites.
They look really threatening, but they're really more a defensive power than anything. But they have that mind control, and I feel like the making people reroll fits that theme really well. You know. Then
you like
Evelons. I love the way these look. These might be one of my favorites as far as like the art goes.
Right.
I love what Gray Fox has done with the art, and I love how varied all the different aliens are. But I love that these are just like little floating robot guys that look super bright colored and like look like I don't know. They look really cool. They look like they're from adorable. Portal or something like that, or Borderlands or something crazy. But yeah, so these guys, special ability is super simple. Your ships can have 1 extra mod. So the small ships can normally have only 1 mod. The medium ships can normally have only 2. This means that your small ship can have 2 mods. So normally your small ship you could only choose 1 stat to upgrade basically on them. So when you put a mod out on a ship, it's basically upgrading the stats, whether it be the movement, the attack, or the defense, or allowing them to have bombardment. So that means that you could, the best thing about these guys is their small ships could be really good. So like they can make their small ships have like 2 movement instead of just 1. Or they can make their small ships have like a movement, an extra movement, and have bombardment, you know? So they have like these zippy small ships going around just blowing everything up.
If you like getting a bunch of tech.
Yeah, if you like getting a bunch of mods, these guys are really good. And I think they excel on like the small ships because with your medium and large ships, you're rarely going to fill up the mods as quickly as you do on the small ship. You have to choose 1 thing to upgrade on the small ones. These guys can choose 2 things to upgrade. So that's really cool. But you do have to dig through that tech deck.
Yeah, you do.
To get the mods you need. Then these people that are not humans. Let me actually get to their thing here.
Let's see.
Somebody asked, what was it, during a live stream, if there were actually humans in the game. And I said, technically, kind of, but billions and billions of years in the future, does it still count as actually being human anymore?
Right.
They're called alllll. I guess they're supposed to technically have started on Earth. But they are people without a homeworld that, like, these aliens found and gave them power armor, and their bodies are all elongated, so they're, like, really tall. Wow. Right. So, like, yes, they look like humans, but...
They are not.
I would not consider it human this far into the future, you know, if you're talking about all that craziness. But yeah, Mr. Scott says, this is all looking great. Woo! Thanks, Scott. I'm really excited about just more people playing the game and getting more excited about all of the different alien races. And the replayability is going to be huge with these aliens, because each game you're going to have two of them. It's going to be different. Each game you're going to have two, and you're going to choose one of them to play and get rid of the other one. So you're going to have so many different playthroughs before you've even played all of them once, you know? And it's going to be awesome.
And each game is going to be different because of your alien's ability.
Yeah, it kind of gives you a little bit of a strategy to go towards, you know? Right. If you have an alien that's more like military, you can be like, oh, well, I'm going to build up ships and I'm going to command and attack people more. Right. Or if you have one that's doing more tech, it's like, well, I need to research to utilize this. It's just finding ways to utilize those different powers that you get during the game. Oh, I didn't even talk about the alllll's actually ability. I got so caught up in the fact that they're not human. So their thing is, when they build a construct or a extractor on a planet, you can immediately gain a crystal of the type that they built on. Oh, so you find a blue planet, you immediately gain a blue. You find a planet that gives you purple. You don't have to actually play the mine action to get it. So the first time you build your construct or your extractor down, you immediately gain that resource. So it's
pretty good.
They have like a little bit of a boost of like being able to get those resources out there a little bit quicker.
On your crystals.
Yeah, but kind of once you've built those extractors out, it's kind of done, you know, at that point. Right. Then we have the alllll, which is like the bird people. If I can actually click through. So these people are an avian species with a humanoid body structure and large wings. Yes, got that. Then they're all brightly colored. It's like these exotic birds.
Really pretty.
But the alllll have, when you play command, you may spend a blue to move one ship an extra sector.
Pretty good. There's a mod that does that, right?
Well, there's mods that allow you to, in combat, move your ship to any sector. Also, you can move an extra sector if you roll in combat. But then also, of course, a lot of the mods just make your ship speed faster. The really cool thing about this is you have it at the start of the game. So the fact that you start with a blue and you have this,
you could immediately.
Normally in like a 4-player game, you start like a space away from like the middle.
Right.
With this whole game is about racing towards the star in the middle of the star system there and trying to gain the last light. The closer you are to that star, the more light you're going to get. These guys can race the game, basically. They can run out towards the middle and try to gain, because the planets in the middle are more likely going to give you purple crystals and light. So they'll be able to build better ships and be able to gain light faster.
Right.
The problem is everybody else will probably come and try to smash you down. But like if you fly too close to the sun, you're going to get burnt up.
Yeah.
But they're really good because they can run out and get on the center rings way faster than the other players, because they don't have to search through the tech deck to find tech to allow them to move.
Just a fight.
But the cool thing is, if you get out there fast enough, you might be able to get enough of an advantage that even if they start blasting you away, you can still push through.
Right.
So yeah, I like them a lot.
You start working on other things.
I like them a lot, but people normally end up coming and trying to wreck me after I use them. The next one here is the alllll. These guys look terrifying.
They do, actually.
And they look like crazy slug animals.
They do.
But honestly, they're just like trading people. They have 2 claw-like appendages that they use like arms. It says, while they're the rulers of a mighty civilization, they employ hundreds and thousands of servants that from many different factions. Basically, they trade precious resources with other factions. These guys, when they take the trade action, they can pick 3 things instead of 2. Normally, when you take the trade action, you get to upgrade your resources. These guys,
that's perfect for Scotty.
Yeah, my son, when he plays the game, he just plays the trade action all the time. Trade. He's like, he doesn't see as much of the benefit, he's still trying to get used to the game. The benefit of like actually going out and getting planets that'll get you the resources. He's like, no, I'm just gonna slowly upgrade all of my resources by playing the trade action over and over again. These guys get to trade 3 things instead of just 2.
That's pretty awesome.
So they basically are allowed to upgrade their resources faster than other players. So it's pretty cool. It's just an ability that upgrades one of their action cards. The next one here, let me go ahead and check chat as well and make sure and see if anybody's saying anything crazy here. Nothing too crazy going on. But yeah, so the next one here is the Vecna. So this is one of the things that I think is really cool about the game also, is how I wanted some of the art for these aliens to be like abstract, not just all like humanoid.
Right.
So like these guys look like weird energy, mask, elemental things.
Yeah.
I also love how they make the background, like planets look all different crazy. Like these have like these weird, almost like
really
pulsar star looking planets, with gas flying up from the poles.
Yeah, there's a lot of range with the art.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, these guys are not humanoid, and they're basically, let's see, what's our backstory here?
Let me see the ability.
So only a few of them exist here at the end of all things, and they carry on a collective consciousness of their entire civilization. Long ago, they ascended from physical forms and became pure energy. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, energy beings. So their ability
is when one of your ships is destroyed, you may immediately pay its cost to move it to your home sector instead of your opponent's graveyard.
Yeah, so they can basically, instead of having to construct, they can just build their ships right back and keep somebody from putting in their graveyard.
Yeah. So it's going to prevent one of the other players from collecting light.
Yeah.
Because if you get four ships or constructs, right, in your graveyard, you get light.
Right. So and that's basically like the opposite of what you want.
Right.
You don't want your opponent to have that because you want to crush all their ships.
Right.
So you're like,
give me all your ships.
With something like this, I mean, it's just one of those things that de-incentivizes somebody to attack you. It's like, oh, well, if you kill my ships, you're not going to get to keep them. So don't kill my ships.
Don't kill my ships.
Exactly. That sort of thing.
My favorite one.
Yeah. Is this still your favorite after all the ones you've seen?
It's still it's definitely my top.
The giant, terrifying slug thing.
Smash! I love.
When I was like talking to Gray Fox about how I like the art for this game and like what I had hoped for it, I was like, I want really cute aliens and I also want terrifying aliens. This is closer to the gross, terrifying thing here.
Gross and terrifying.
But yeah, this is the, how do you say that? Megalith? Meglinth. The Meglinth. They're giant worm-like parasitic creatures. So these things take over the brains of like other things. And there's like a queen one that like rules all of them. You're the queen, Megalith. I just compared my girlfriend to a giant worm slug thing.
Fine, because I'll take you down.
Anyway, tell them what their ability does.
Okay. So you're gonna gain a light anytime you destroy an enemy construct.
So the constructs are basically how people control planets and gain their resources and gain light from the star when they refresh. These things basically like just crush.
Right. I'm going to go into your planet. I'm going to fight you, take your construct, and get light.
Yeah.
Just from...
You basically just run around and destroy everything.
Yeah, I'm destroying everything, fighting with everyone around me. Which I love this alien. Oh, let me put it.
Okay. Chris says anything crazy for me. I know you've been developing this for a long time. How long did it take you to create all these different alien species with their balanced powers? So mostly a lot of it, I had what I did when I made the game. Let me actually just go back to the screen so you can see a bunch of the different alien art. But when I made the game, I made tons of different special powers and like got a bunch of different art for like just my prototype. And I had different art that I was using for the game. And it was mostly like, it was like not really exactly the style. These are a little bit more cartoony than I had, but it was like the same sort of theme, like just all sorts of different wacky stuff and like weird different types of aliens. But basically Gray Fox did a lot of the like writing and story for all the stuff and helped name all the different aliens and stuff like that. But I worked on all the powers for a while. I just mostly just came up with them and then just tried to figure out how to make them as balanced as I could. And then I just made them and then just played the crap out of it.
Right.
Like I played the game over and over and over again. And if something seemed like it was a little bit too powerful, I would add like a crystal cost to it or something like that. If it didn't already have that, like you have to pay something to actually use this power. Or like make it so that things exhaust. So the way the exhausting works in the game is you can only use the ability, you have to refresh to be able to use that ability again. So it kind of like makes it so you can only do it once a round. But rounds are a little bit more fluid in this game than in other games. So something that exhausts, like you can't use it again, you could refresh and then immediately use it again. So there's a lot of meaningful choices in like, okay, this alien is an alien that exhausts, but I can end up spamming him a couple turns in a row if I'm really careful with it.
Or if you're about to see someone attack you.
Yeah.
Or like creeping up on you, you could just refresh your card, use your ability before they attack you.
Yeah.
So
there's all sorts of different ways to utilize that stuff. But yeah, with the balance, it was really just playing them out over and over again. Mm-hmm. And one of the good things about the game, too, is that the fact that there's a decent amount of interaction in the game, and the game allows you to get to who you want to if you're trying to fight somebody. It allows you to move kind of where you want to. You're not like locked up on other players. The game can kind of self-balance a little bit. So sometimes if you're in the lead, you don't really want people to know that you're in the lead. Mm-hmm. You know, you kind of want to downplay the fact that you're running away with the game because the other players will and should stop you. And the game gives you the ability to actually do that. So you can blockade people's planets and do different stuff like that. So if there's an alien race that people find or they think is a little bit too strong, you might not want them to think that it's too strong, because you don't want to brag about how amazing your alien is, because everybody will come and crush you.
Right. What I love about when we start the game, especially like 8 players, everyone has to like read out loud what their alien ability is. And some people will be like, "Oh, you got that one? Okay.
Oh, we know what you have. Right. We're gunning for you."
Right.
So there's a little bit of that going on.
Or you know who to like not pick fights with because they might wreck you with your ability.
Another thing about this art is in my original like prototype version, this was like an angry looking like commander, like blonde, like female, and they turned it into a giant worm. I love it. But
I love it.
The prophecy. The prophecy came true. You're the angry blonde all along. Anyway, let's see. The Enkelous. I can't even pronounce the aliens or the robots in my own game. 01111111. Enkelous. I can't. Yeah, anyway. The robot. Awesome robot people. So, they're androids, sentient androids that have existed for long with the other factions, as long as they can remember. As soon as the civilization reaches beyond their homeworld into the stars, you know, they're cool tech people. So their thing is, so this has to do a lot with the special ability technologies. Special abilities are technologies that you put on your ships that basically give your ships abilities that normally when you roll the special ability symbol on a die, that's when that triggers in combat. So their special ability is if you pay a blue, then you can act like you rolled one of those. So sometimes you'll have special abilities and you don't actually you don't roll it on the die. Like maybe you're attacking with a small ship, you only roll one die and you get a hit, which getting a hit is good because you're trying to knock out your opponent, but you don't get that special ability symbol. These guys are going to be able to always trigger that special ability symbol as they at least pay a blue for it. So they can reliably know their special abilities are going to trigger. And there's cool special abilities that like let you immediately put a tech out on the board, or let you teleport your ship anywhere on the board, or allow you to steal crystals from your opponent. There's so many different cool special abilities that you can add to your ship that they're just going to be able to make sure they trigger them, which is really cool. The next one's here. I think this is my daughter's favorite, mostly just because they're pink.
They're cute.
But this is the Esqui. Another tech-like alien race, once worshipped as gods by primitive beings in their system. The Esqui are solitary species devoted to quest for personal enlightenment. So these are another race that has a lot to do with the technology in the game. So they're going to draw technology equal to the number of players, and then choose. They're going to choose one to keep for themselves, and then they're going to deal out the rest to the other players. And they get to choose.
They hand it out to the rest of the players?
Yeah. So everybody gets a tech.
Oh, wow.
So they're kind of like a little bit of a benevolent alien race. But the cool thing is these guys get even better the more players you play with. Because if you're playing in a 4-player game, you get to draw 4 and you keep 1, and then you'll do it. But in a 8-player game, you get to draw 8 and then hand them out. Everybody else might want to be nice to you because you're going to be handing them out technology. Maybe you would hand out a good one to somebody who's a little bit nicer to you. But also, you're getting to scry the tech deck and pull exactly which tech you want. If you get to pull 8 out, you get to pick the one you want out of those 8. That's really good. So they're going to be able to get the technology that they want out of the deck. So they're supposed to be nice, but nobody's nice in Last Light. Let me just check everything over here. So Ruthie seems to be loving this game, and has developed some wicked strategies. Does she ever let you win any of these games anymore?
The last game we played.
Yeah.
Which was the 2-player game.
Right.
I beat him.
Yeah.
No mercy.
The 2-player game is interesting because you have NPC ships that are allied with whoever is lowest in light. So whoever has the lowest score currently gets to control them. And I was like, I'm just going to go hard and see how far I can go at the beginning. And I got a bunch of light at the beginning. And then went hard. I built up some stuff and I got going pretty good. But then you controlled a bunch of the NPC ships and just crushed like everything I had. I did. And then you didn't even realize and moved a bunch of your ships to the middle, and you caught up in light really quick, and then passed me to the point where
I didn't give you a chance to.
I was crushed enough to where I couldn't pick it back up.
Right.
So yeah, it's an interesting balance playing the 2-player game because you have to balance like how much you want to be in the lead to win the game.
Right. You got to slow roll it when it's 2 players. You really got to slow roll it.
You want to be losing until you win.
Yeah, right, exactly. Until you find that strategy where
until
I was
you
just
can push yourself,
all his ships.
You want to be losing the entire game until you can push yourself across the finish line because otherwise the NPC ships are just going to wreck you, When are we getting to the Pokemon looking ones? I'm looking for a Squirtle possibility. There's one that looks more like a turtle coming up. And then alien names are a mouthful to pronounce, but they sound alien. No fun starting a war with alien Commander Tom. Yeah, for sure. Tom was like, I'm going to see how combat works in this game over and over and over and over and over. It seemed like he was having fun, so that was really cool. But yeah, let's look at the next one here.
Oh, this is...
I normally I just call them by what they look. The bee people, the Maferna. So these are they're very much hive bee people. Right. But their special ability. Read that craziness.
It is when you reveal a planet, you may spend a grain to immediately build a construct there.
Yeah. So these guys are only going to be good at the beginning of the game as far as like being able to explore and then immediately build because you have to explore it. So you have to be the one getting to it first.
Right.
But
going back to balance on the game, you have to exhaust it after you
do it. So you can only do it once per round.
Right.
But the fact that they can build up so fast.
Yeah, you're going to have a lead.
Yeah, you're going to have a lead. And with being able to have extra resources faster than anybody else and being able to build up planets faster than anybody else is going to help you with your planetary achievement. It's going to be able to help you with resources. It's going to be able to help you to build ships. It's going to be able to help you build technology. You're going to be able to swarm the board, which makes sense. They're bees. But yeah, those guys are really cool. And I sometimes feel bad if I have them and I'm utilizing them too much because I feel like people are going to get mad at me and like jump me.
Right. Usually everyone targets you though.
Everybody targets me anyway, which is fine. I want people to have fun with the game. This is the Recog Initiative. Do you know what these guys do? Their power? So these are like a brain in a jar. They're basically like an alien species that decided they don't need bodies anymore, and they just put their brains up to computers.
Waste.
These guys are so cool. It's super simple ability. You unexhaust a tech, and then you exhaust this card. That's it. That's all it does. Wow. This alien allows you to unexhaust your tech. But it's really cool, especially like if you are into the tech and you're into like the engine building of like different technologies. There's some technologies that you exhaust and they give you resources. There's some technologies that exhaust and gain you light. And the fact that like you can use them twice in one round makes it super useful. If you get like the Galactic Monument, which you exhaust and get light. Yeah, it's just one tech. But the cool thing is like then you refresh, and then this unexhaust and that tech exhaust. Right. So you're going to be able to use times. It basically just compounds on the like engine building factor of the technologies in the game. So these guys are just really cool. If you like to build up technology and like to see how far you can push like all of your technology like to the limits, these guys are going to let you use your technology like twice in a round, which is ridiculously cool. I get excited about wanting to play them. So
I should play that card.
Yeah, they're fun.
That alien.
But yeah. There you go. Recognitive looks like my favorite Pokemons. Yes, brain in a jar Pokemon.
Like Pokejar.
Exactly. You gotta blow up all of Tom's ships. Yeah. That's the plan. That's the plan. This one is another very Pokemon looking one.
Yeah.
Turog. These are defensive. They are giant reptilian predators who are native to a swamp-like world. And their bodies are covered in thick bone-like plates and spikes, making them nearly impenetrable. So these guys' ability is they can... basically, when you have tech cards that you haven't played out yet, they're in your hand, and they're like unresearched techs. Mm-hmm. They can discard an unresearched tech to cancel a hit in combat. So these are kind of like...
I didn't know about... Let me see that.
These guys are basically... Wow. I'm not going to play techs. I'm just going to use the techs that I get for defense. So
where has this card been?
It's been on the table here. You could have drafted it at any point when we were playing the game.
This card was made for me because
It basically just lets you be defensive in combat.
Right.
Yeah, so those will be really good for like
unresearched cards.
You just ignore your tech and just get rid of it and cancel hits.
Wow.
Yeah, but you're gonna run out of tech, so you might want to research just to get more technology.
Right.
So it's cool that some of these aliens just kind of like change the way you play the game in general. Like these aliens don't care about technology; they're just throwing it away. They're throwing their technology in the way of their blasters.
Their shields. They're using
all their tech for shields. So
nice.
That's kind of cool. They're not going to be able to build up as much of a tech engine if they do that sort of thing. They might not necessarily get to the 4 tech you need to gain extra light, but they're going to be able to blast some or be able to stop some of those hits. You fly all your little turtle guys to the middle and just defend yourself.
That's pretty awesome.
You win the game. So those guys are cool. The next guys... I didn't have the card for these, but I can tell you what they do. The Sheilon. So these are explorers that go out and explore the galaxy, and I this is one of the aliens that the art I just love because they're just so different. Apparently, adorable. These are also used to be turtles who left their shells and became cyborgs.
That's actually really cool.
And now they're out exploring the stars. Really cool. Their special ability is there's a bunch of the planets, when you flip them over, they have like one-time events on them that will trigger the first time you go into that space. Their ability is you can pay a green to trigger the event again.
Oh, nice.
If they're in a space, if they have a ship in the space with that event, they can just trigger it again. So if you find one that gives you a light when you flip it over, they could be like, I'm going to pay a green to do that again and gain a light. Getting 1 light for a green is actually really good. They could find the wormholes that, allow ships to like move into that sector. There. They can be like, you know what? I'm going to move a ship there.
And you can move another ship there?
Yeah, you can just move a ship to that space.
Wow.
There's ones of these that say, hey, research your technology from your hand for free. If they're able to fly a ship and sit it on that planet, they can be like, I'm going to pay a green and put a technology out for free. So they have a bunch of cool strategies and things that they might do. Even if your opponent controls the planet, they can still trigger this. So
you don't have to have a construct on
You don't have to have a construct there. You just have to have a ship. So you might fly your ship into that space and then just be like, I'm just here to use the event on this space. Sorry, bro. I'm just going to trigger this ability.
Use your planet right quick.
It does exhaust when you use it, so you can only do it like once around. And you have to have the crystals to pay for it. But they're explorers. They get to flip over those exploration tokens even more. So they're really cool. The next one is the Vernons. These are the scrappers of the Last Light universe. Little crazy looking mice people. But yeah, they're pretty cool. Their ability, I think you like their ability a lot too.
Yeah. So gain light after having 3 ships in your graveyard instead of 4.
Yep.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah, during the game, when you knock out ships, if you destroy at least 4, you gain a light. With them, they only need 3 to gain a light. So they don't necessarily want to destroy everybody. They're just better at harvesting the light out of them. I mean, if you have them, you probably should destroy everyone. But, there's that. But yeah, I like these guys, and I think I like their art, and the fact that they're like, yeah, we're going to pull all the energy out of those ships that we can is really cool. And of course, any ability that helps you gain light is going to help you win the game. I mean, so that's just cool. So that's the Vernons. The next one here is the ArcNet. These are cool because they're like a...
Are these one of the newest ones?
I think this is one of the newer ones that were released.
So pretty.
They're basically
I really like them.
Most advanced planetary defense systems ever created. The ArcNet was designed to keep the threat harming the inhabitants of their planet world. The ArcNet is individual biotech constructs that are part of a single consciousness. Individually, they are small, but together they work as a massive unit. So their ability is during the game, if you have a ship on an enemy planet that they control with a construct currently that is on the ring, you are considered blockading it. So therefore, whenever they refresh, they're not going to gain light. These guys' ability is when they're blockading an enemy construct, you can gain a light when they refresh and then exhaust this card. So basically,
that's awesome.
You're wrecking somebody else's chance to gain light.
Right.
You're not only are you stopping them from gaining light, you're saying, oh, you would gain light. Sorry about that, but I'm going to gain light instead.
Hand it over. It's not yours.
Exactly.
It's mine.
So these guys are incentivized to slow other players down from winning. So, and they get to gain light themselves as they do it. It does exhaust and can only happen like once a round, but, pretty cool to be able to trigger that.
Is it one?
You gain one light. So even if you're blockading one in the middle, it's still just one light. But
if I have two in the middle, like if I'm sitting on...
Yeah, it's just whenever it's just one light.
Okay.
Yeah, but they do get to pull that off, and they get to do what you want. I mean, if you probably want to blockade people anyway, especially whoever's currently winning.
Most likely you're gonna be blockading someone.
So gaining a light while you do it is awesome. Here, you can talk about these ones because I know you like these ones too.
I don't know how to pronounce this.
Let's see if it has a pronunciation thing in here. Nope. Xenolithian.
I think close enough. So you may roll one extra die during an attack. Exhaust this card. Super combative. I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, just one combat each round, you're gonna roll extra die. So your little ships can be like, oh, no, I'm rolling 2 instead of 1.
Right.
Super simple.
Right.
But yeah. That's it. They're just angry rock people, which rocks. That wasn't worth laughing at. That was a Chris Yee joke, if Chris Yee is still in the chat. The Cypherlin. You played these last time. Those are pretty cool. These are like the pirate, scavenger type people. Let's see what it says here. They have pale pigment. Their heads can detect pheromones, making it easier for them to persuade and manipulate others. Oh, more manipulators. They have dark black eyes and transparent lids. Yeah, if you haven't read a bunch of the bios on a bunch of these guys, it's really cool. The writer we have has done an amazing job at making all of these really unique and interesting aliens.
So their ability is when you destroy a ship, you may return it to its owner's supply and gain crystals equal to its cost. So small ship, blue. Yeah. And medium ships are blue and green. Yeah. And large ship is purple.
Right. So if really you go around blowing up their big ships, you can get purple crystals and build your own big ships.
Right.
So
they're awesome too.
Yeah. So normally... if something's in your graveyard, your opponent could buy it back from you at the cost or whatever. So this isn't waiting for them to buy it back or giving them an opportunity to buy it back. You're just straight up giving it back to them and getting the money anyway, or getting the resources anyway. Right. That's pretty cool. Cool. The next one here, the Nebulin. This is another one that's very not humanoid. It's like a giant energy gas cloud thing.
Yeah, gas.
So they're space dust, and they're basically like a nebula. So
it's really pretty.
Yeah, I love it.
Like cotton candy in space.
And their ability is really strange too. It's when you play the command, you can spend a blue resource, and then move all of your ships, all of your ships' movement to move that ship in any sector in its current ring. So the way this works is whenever you pay the blue, you can move your ships. Instead of moving inward, you can move them around the ring. So it's kind of hard to like describe without just looking at the board. Right. But like there is distant, which is like the planets that are where your like your colony ship and your like generational ship that you start the game with is distant, the distant ring. Then there's an outer ring, which is like the bigger ring that's like one step in, and there's an inner ring. So the Nebulan can go anywhere on the ring instead of just doing normal movement. Right. So they can basically, oh, you're over there and I need to blockade you. I can just jump over there if I have played the blue. So they just kind of go within the same ring. So like instead of doing normal movement. So they
can go like to the opposite side of the board.
They can go to the opposite side of the board really quick. They're also really good at taking over planets that are beside people's home system, where normally, you know, you're probably never going to go to a planet that's in somebody else's home, like right beside somebody's like colony ship. These guys can easily get to everybody's if they pay that blue. So that's pretty good. So they're going to be taking over people's stuff that they wouldn't normally take over. Right. So they can combo really good with like there's a
so if someone's sitting across from you and it's going to take them a while to get to your home base.
You can blockade the people you want to. You can jump over there. You can get on people's stuff. You can explore things a lot quicker because a lot of times there'll be exploration tokens that somebody else isn't getting. You can go grab those exploration tokens. So a lot of interesting things you can do with the Nebulian peeps. The next one here is...
we like the art on this one.
I love... Like, this is one of the first ones that they released it on the campaign, and I hadn't actually even seen the art yet. Right. These are the alllll. They're born in the depths of an oceanic homeworld. They're really cool. I love the fact that they have the one eyeball and all the tentacles and everything like that.
It's pretty awesome. I love the colors.
I love how colorful it is. And that's one of the things here, too, is it says that their biology... They don't really have gender, but then also they can change their skin pigmentation and have different patterns of bioluminescence. So all the different like species of these look all different colors or whatever. They can just change their colors, just kind of like a squid or like a cuttlefish or octopus sort of could.
It's nice. Like I mean, tentacles.
Makes sense. But their ability is you may discard an action card to return your mine card to your hand, then exhaust this card. So they're like really good at mining resources.
That's pretty good.
So they can just discard another card and then get their mine back and mine again, which is okay early game. But late game, if you have a bunch of planets, this could be amazing because you just get a ton of resources out of it. You know,
right?
I mean, late game, sometimes you're trying to figure out a way to position yourself to gain more planets and attack people as opposed to building up stuff. But they'll be able to have a ton of resources to be able to build technologies and build ships, which is going to be great.
Right.
So... they're good at mining. They're able to gather those resources quickly. The next one here is another extremely abstract looking one. Right. I love the fact that some of the art is like very abstract.
Very different from one another.
So how would you say this?
Aruna. I feel confident on that one. Aruna.
Yeah. So the will of Aruna has existed since the beginning. Adrift, alone in space, these unfathomable beings have witnessed the evolution of countless species, in some cases even seeding worlds themselves. So these are crazy aliens that have been around for forever. These, when you play the command, you always move last regardless of turn order. So that seems like an interesting, weird ability. In high player counts, this can be really important because... this is, I think, one of the ones that's going to be better when you play with more people. But moving last means you can always get out of combat. Right. Because other ships don't pin you down. So if someone moves into your space and tries to start combat with you, you can just leave. And there won't be a situation where you get stuck in a combat that you don't want to be in.
You're going to be like I'm out.
Yep. And it's a May ability as well. So if you need to get like the jump on somebody... you can.
Oh, you have the option.
But you can get out of combat if you need to. So that's really good for them. So yeah, definitely a different abstract looking alien there. I love the way these guys look too.
Yeah.
The Sirenians. Yeah, they're from an aquatic planet, which makes sense. Yeah. And I love that they have like the little watery looking planet here too. But yeah, these guys' ability is crazy also. They're kind of like another one that feels like it might be a little bit like of a benevolent sort of alien because they're helping other players out. So their ability is at the end of the round, you may choose an opponent and they gain a light. And then you gain a purple.
Which is obviously you're just going to give it to the player with
the lowest,
with the lowest amount of light.
Right. So it's going to help them catch up in the game, but then also you're gaining a purple at the end of each round.
Which you could build large ships for that.
Yeah. So could you imagine them in a 2-player game though? Your opponent might just veto it. But yeah, in a 2-player game, it's like, you're winning now. I control the ships, but I also have a purple. You can push people to winning the game. But
that's actually pretty funny.
But yeah, they'll be great. The problem is you're still giving them a light, which is not something they had to work for. So it's even better in higher player count games because you can always get to somebody who's not currently winning, Yeah. But, people might end up coming and beating you up because you have a whole bunch of purples and they don't like that. But they also might leave you alone because they want you to give them the light.
Right. I would be nice to you.
Yeah, they might use it as a bargaining chip. It's like, listen, I'm going to give you the light if you are nice to me.
Right.
These next ones are super cool. They're like the mechanics. They look like hyper mech, like cyberpunk almost.
Yeah.
I love their pink mohawk.
Yeah. I love it.
Read their ability.
Let's see. So you pay a green to convert one of your fighters to a destroyer or a destroyer to a capital ship. Exhaust this card.
Right. So you can basically upgrade your ships.
With just
paying a green. Yep. It's like normally your small ships cost a blue.
But it's only one, so you get it.
Yep. And it's cool because you can fly one of your small ships into the middle, then turn it into a larger ship so it will be harder to kill. And then next turn, turn into an even larger ship that's hard to kill. The problem is you need to have the green to be able to pay for it. So you really got to figure out a way to get planets that give you green because you're going to want to be using that all the time, So I love these guys. I think these guys are really cool. These are ones I played last time I played the game.
You get large ships all in the center.
Yep, and you can just upgrade your ship as the game goes along.
Make it harder for everyone else to blow your ships up.
Yep, and you're only going to do it once around because it exhausts, but
still. You're
still able to turn your smaller ships into larger ships, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, let's see what the chat here. Mark says, Roy! So how many aliens will there finally be in the Infinity thing, asks Chris Canaday. He has the same last name as me. That's crazy. All right, let's see if we can count them here. I wasn't even 100% sure of the final count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 in the base set, if you count all the exclusives, that is, of course. And then you get the Infinity expansion. So 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So there's 10 more in the expansion. So 33 aliens, it looks like, in the game there. Do they have I don't know if they have this updated all the way yet, because there are a few more. So let me go down to the bottom here. Everybody's getting whiplash from how fast I'm scrolling. So we also, I don't think these were in there. So I think it looks like it's going to be 35. So we're going to talk about a few of these other aliens as well in a second. But it looks like there will be, is it 35? Because which one's the last one that they added to this? Yeah, I think 35. So 35 total with, if you get the expansion, or if you get just the base set and then get the $10 add-on to add the 10 aliens from the expansion in as well, then you can have all of that stuff. Okay, next one. Snake people.
Yes.
The Nagal. They are serpent reptilian species that resemble serpents. What? Obviously, Subterrian. Can't even read.
Did you combine words?
I combined words. I was reading ahead and then reading backwards, I guess. But yeah, I love these guys. I love the way they look. They're nomadic tribes that lived beneath the surface of their desert homeworlds. Is this one that I don't have? I had this in the wrong order, or I just clicked the wrong one first.
Well, you could put this one. Oh, no.
So their ability is when they do the trade action, they can spend only 1 crystal instead of 2 to upgrade.
Wow.
Which is actually really good. So they can spend a blue, like normally you have to spend 2 blue to turn to a green. They can spend just 1 blue to turn to a green. So they can just upgrade their crystals like crazy.
That's pretty good.
But then they give an opponent, instead of giving an opponent a blue, normally when you do the trade action, you have to choose an opponent that you give a blue crystal from the supply to. They give someone a green crystal.
So it's another one where you help your opponent.
So you're going to be helping somebody else by giving them a good resource in the game. So yeah, they're pretty cool. They're just another alien race that's good at trading. And then, I actually skipped some here. The Emperos. This is one that I don't have the card for printed out in my own prototype, but I need to print it out for use at home. But I love these guys. They're like giant-headed aliens. Yeah. They're filled with pieces to the great puzzle. They are fascinated by how they can arrange themselves to better fit their grand design. So they're kind of like manipulating themselves to be even better species. But yeah, their ability is that they can pay a blue to exhaust themselves, and then they gain the resource of a planet that they control. So if they control a green planet, they can turn their blue into a green. If they control a planet that gives them a purple, they can turn their blue into a purple. If they control a planet that gives them light, they could turn their blue into a light, which seems really good. So trying to control high-value resource planets with them, because they're very Emperor-like, they want those rare planets that they can really utilize. They'd be really awesome to have. And you got to get them to the middle to be able to get those nice planets. So they're pretty cool too. The next one here, I've been talking a whole bunch. We went to Taco Bell to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, because we're very authentic. Oh man, these guys are good. I love the way they look too. Like they're plant people with I love the face on this though.
Right.
It reminds me of Majora's Mask or something like that, or I don't know. It's really cute.
It is.
So yeah, species of biological beings native to remote planet covered in swamplands called really the cute. Fungus, or the Phaeogus. Yeah, they're really cool.
They remind me of the plants in the flowers in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah,
it's really cute.
So their ability is if you control at least 2 green planets, you gain a light and then exhaust this card. That's not too hard to pull off.
It's not.
But your opponents are probably going to be like, listen, you don't get to have green planets.
Yeah, someone's going to see that you have that ability and be like, rushes and builds a construct on the green planets before you do.
Right. Or they're going to try to he has 2 green planets. I'm kind of tired of him gaining light. Let me go over there and take those planets from you. But you just want to get out there and get those green planets and try to squeak out the light that you can as the game goes along. As much as you can, right. Let's see if there's any more questions here. My dad's asking me if I have any intel to share on expansion stuff already. We got to get this first game to people first. Come on. Oh, Chris says that the big-headed floaty aliens look kind of MODOK-y. Yeah,
they do.
They look kind of like MODOK. That's awesome. So, and that is all the aliens that I have here, but we have a couple more that are on the Game Found page that were released, and the website will be updated with all the bios and stuff in a little bit, but we're going to talk about... I went too far. We're going to talk a little bit about the other aliens that we have on this thing here that have been released. These guys are crazy. Let me go ahead and bring these out. These guys, super simple.
Let me see. Jotnari?
Yep.
Okay. You start the game with a large ship instead of a small ship.
Yep. So just start the game with a ship that can blow up other people's constructs. And it's going to be really hard for people to kill.
Awesome.
So yeah, they're just big, mean aliens.
Yeah, aggressive, straight, and intimidating straight off the bat. Large ship in your face.
So their ability literally only affects them at the very beginning of the game. So that's it. Once you have your large ship, if your large ship gets blown up, it's gone. They went your advantage. But you can start the game with a large one, and you can just immediately start upgrading your large ships instead of worrying about your small ships.
Right, and you get that large ship straight to the center.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just be like, I'm going to put supersonic on my large ship so that way they can get there faster, and you can just focus on working on your large stuff instead of your smaller things. So those guys are really cool. The next one, I love these too because it's another one that's just an abstract style alien that just looks like a blob with a swirl. I played these in one of my online games recently, and I loved playing it. Their ability is at the start of the game, change one of the planets to a rare planet. So there are different types of planets. There are common planets and rare planets in the game. And based on setup of the map, those will be in different spaces. Normally, the planets that start near you are all going to be common. And then as you move towards the middle of the board, or sometimes in between the players, there will be rare planets that are sometimes a little bit harder to get to, or you get to them a little bit later in the game. They can turn one of the planets that starts right beside them into a rare planet. So that way, common planets normally produce blue and green resources, which are going to let you get cheaper technology and smaller ships. The rare planets will either produce purple resources or light, which lets you build the best technology and the best ships. So it'd be really awesome. I played a game with them. I turned the planet right beside me into a rare planet. It ended up having purple, so that way I was able to mine purple from it almost the whole game. And I was like, I can build cool technologies. I can build cool ships. You know,
that is pretty good.
It was pretty fun.
Was it like one of the distant?
Yeah, one of the distant ones right beside me. I just turned into a planet that produces purple. It's easy, just super simple ability. The next ability here, which I feel like I skipped.
Have I played?
We skipped these guys. I don't know why we skipped them.
Have I
Grawl.
played him?
These guys are cool. I think you might have played them. I love them because they're kind of like almost reptilian, like almost like dragon type people. I don't know. They're like bat dragons almost.
I thought that was
What do you think it was?
a wolf. Like
A wolf?
Like
I see zero hair.
I
That
thought
is
that
a
was
hairless
fur.
wolf.
I thought that was fur. It's brown. No.
Anyway, it's an alien with a laser pistol. He shot that planet. Look at that hole.
Wow. Oh, wow. This is pretty nice. That's so funny.
So their ability is when you construct, you can pay a blue to build. You pay like an extra blue when you're building ships, and you can build one of your ships on a planet you control. So say you want to build your large ship like out on the board, like say you control a planet right beside the star in the middle, you could exhaust this and pay an extra blue, like you pay a purple and a blue to build your big ship right in the middle. And the fact that awesome. the entire game is about trying to get to the middle, gain light, it's like really good ability to, if you utilize it properly, you're able to get your ships across the board way faster.
It's tripping me out.
What, the fact that you thought it was a wolf?
Right.
Are these clean?
Stop it.
Well, let me fix that for you. Let's just clean these off.
Stop it.
Let's have this back. Here you go. Anyway, next, let's go back to these. These guys are another super simple. What are they?
Daroga.
Your
extractors have 3 armors.
I like that the art here. It might be hard to tell, but like the art here, all of their planets are like covered in metal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they basically welded their planets
awesome.
in. So yeah, basically it's really hard to destroy their extractors. So the extractors are what allows you to control planets and allows you to be able to, have things, be able to keep control and gain resources and light from them. This makes it really hard
for somebody else
to come in and blow them up. Normally, when somebody's attacking you, they're attacking with a large ship. Large ships get to roll 3 dice against your stuff. So that means that all 3 of those have to be hits for them to be able to knock your construct off.
Instead of 1.
But it also means that if somebody puts bombardment on their medium or small ship, it's going to be almost impossible for those medium or small ships to blow up your constructs or your extractors. So they're going to have to try hard to be able to blow your stuff up. So when you control something, you're going to keep controlling it, which is a pretty cool ability. Oh, we missed another one here. The fire guys. The Lashan. Was that on this here? Or did I miss them? No, they're not added to the website yet. Okay, the Lashan. Fire people!
Another one that's like, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love the art for this. It looks really like just like a straight up fire elemental.
Right.
Yeah, read them. That one's ridiculous. They're sentient supernovas.
So you pay a purple to destroy an enemy ship in a space with a ship or construct you control. Exhaust this card.
So once per round, they can just pay a purple to blow somebody up. I mean, purple is what it costs to build a big ship. So basically, you're just paying what it would have cost them or more than what it would have cost them to blow something up. But you can blow somebody up in the middle to stop them from game light. If somebody's blockading one of your constructs, you can blow them up. If you have purples, you're just going to be, they really need to find a planet that can give them purples reliably and then just blast people away. Also, people will see that you have a planet that gives you purple, and they'll be like, no, please. Please don't let them do it. And they'll come stop you. But yeah, I like those guys. They're really mean.
I love, like, the trash talking that happens in the games. Like, don't let this person do that. Or, let's gang up on this person, you know? Yeah,
we try to, like hold slow it down.
Them down. Yeah.
There's another one that you said you really wanted to play, which I guess is the last one we have here.
Oh, it's the Reaper looking?
Nyx.
Nyx.
So their ability, and this is actually supposed to have a ship ability symbol on it. So if you roll the ship ability symbol in combat, you can randomly take a tech from your opponent's hand of unresearched tech and manufacture it for free, exhaust this card. So yeah, they get into combat and they're just like, I'll take that tech and build it. That's disgusting. Yeah. That's really good. I mean, they can only do it once per round, but also you're building tech out of somebody else's hand for free.
For free.
And I mean, you might get a terrible tech. I mean, if you're playing against these guys, you probably want to hold some cheap tech in your hand just so that way you don't want to get down to where you have just the purple like tech that costs a whole bunch in your hand because they're going to end up attacking you and build it for free. Or if you're building tech, don't keep unresearched tech in your hand. Also, attack the person who has it in their hand. If you're these guys, you know, you're going to look around the table and be like, oh, they have. It just makes you play the game in a different way, you know?
It gives you a bunch of different perspectives on how to play. A bunch of
different things to think about.
Right.
But yeah, so that is all of the aliens for Last Light. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Check out the lastlightgame.com website to read some of the bios if you want to read all the bios more in depth. Also, make sure to check out the game on GameFound. Yes. You guys are amazing. It looks like we've gone up like another couple thousand since we started this.
Awesome.
Y'all are awesome. I'm really hoping that we can get to that that thing to unlock the 2 extra ships.
The ships,
Not 2 extra ships, but 6 extra ships, because then we will have sculpts for each faction in the base set will be a different. Each color in the base set will be a different sculpt or whatever. Wow. And then you have the expansion, which will all be different colors of those same sculpts. Those same 4 different sets of sculpts. So you'll have the same sculpts in 2 different colors if you have both things, which will be really cool. Nice. And I love this ship here because I don't know. Do you know what like water bears or like little tardigrades are?
No.
So tardigrades are like these little tiny bug like insect things that like live in water. But scientists have discovered that like if they release them into space,
you've told me about
they'll like stay alive.
Yeah, you've told me about that.
And then you can actually like bring them back in, so they can like withstand radiation, withstand all sorts of different stuff, and they kind of like crystallize and get small, and they actually survive. I love that this capital ship looks very much like a tardigrade. I think that's really cool. I also think China just had a mission where they just shot a whole bunch of tardigrades at the moon. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I just heard that they were planning on doing that, but that also seems insane. Like, oh, these things can survive in space. Let's just shoot them at.
Let's see if they really
shoot them at the moon.
Right.
Anyway, crazy times. But once again, I want to say thank you to everybody who's backed the game. I mean, I'm hoping that we end strong, but regardless, like I'm really excited about bringing this game to life for y'all, and I can't wait for it to hit people's table. But yeah, Chris says he's amazing, and thank you. Yes, Chris, you're amazing. Awesome. But yeah, I'm really stoked to play more with everyone and see everyone.
Hold on, your dad just like co-signed with me on it looking like a wolf. The growl.
Oh, thank you. Y'all are saying because its name is Growl that it's a wolf?
It's definitely a wolf.
Oh, okay.
That's 2 people against 1.
Okay, let's see. Let's go back here. So leave in the comments.
Look at it. Look at its jaw.
Leave in the comments. Are you saying it's like a hairless wolf?
It's not hair. That looks like fur to me. Look at its jaw and look at its tail.
Does it look like fur even though it's zoomed in?
Yeah.
I think you're wrong. Also, the fact
that
its
name is Grawl. Like it's
the crap. Oh, their appearance fits their reputation.
Hold on.
They're the most feared hunters. I thought it said reptilian. Predators in the
galaxy.
And
it's a predator. Take it back.
No, I'm not saying that that's a wolf.
And it's a predator.
Listen, they have razor sharp fangs. When have wolves ever had razor sharp fangs? Anyway, we got to end the stream. No. But yeah, thanks everybody. Make sure to check out Last Light while it's still on GameFound. If you're watching this afterwards, hopefully you check out the late pledge. If you're watching this way afterwards, thank you for checking out the game. Hopefully you can check it out at the convention. Hopefully we'll be demoing it soon. I think Gray Fox is going to have this at Origins. We should have it like Gen Con. Not like the game itself, but hopefully like demoing it for people to try it out and play it. And the mod is available on Tabletop Simulator. So if you want to actually play the game with your friends, you can look at the rulebook, play it on Tabletop Simulator, and have a lot of fun that way. Thanks so much for joining me. This has been fun. I'm Roy.
I'm Ruthie.
And we'll see everybody next time.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.